Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for being continued listeners of the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. Many of the episodes that we are currently releasing were pre-COVID-19, literally up to the week of, and they were scheduled to be rolled out over time. But with the COVID-19, we had a little lull, so some of these are even a little more or pre-COVID wall, so I would like to say. But I want to thank you. Make sure that you're maintaining social distancing and being safe, and be very conscious of yourself. This is the time you've been given where you can really just kind of find out who you are. At least that's how I'm doing it. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Emmett Muckles. Please visit iTunes, Stitcher, or emmettmuckles.com to listen to all the episodes for free.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast. I am hoping you are having an awesome day, and here is why. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow's not here yet, so what do you got left to do? Enjoy right now. Live that billionaire lifestyle. I mean, I'm not a billionaire. Lies, all lies. Here's how it works out. Your mama and your daddy had a little party, got a little together, shared some information. 30 days later, after Cosmic Dance began to do its thing, you were a billion cells. You grew from there, so guess what? It makes you a trillionaire. Anyway, now that I let you know what you are, we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Once again, Breakfield and Burkey. I've had him on the show before. We're talking about the Enigma series, but this time we got a special guest. My man, Derek. He's Derek Scholes, but it's not the musical Scholes. How you guys doing today?
Hey, we're doing great. How about you, Derek? How are you doing?
Doing good.
Good. So,
well, we appreciate you letting us be on here today, Emmett. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate the love. You know, I have an affinity for writers because I'm a poor one myself. And so when I find someone who is consistent and someone who has the imagination to keep pulling things out, I can't help but to help support them. So with that being said, let's talk about your latest endeavor, number 11.
All right.
So what came about with, tell us a little about number 11 first.
Okay, so book number 11 is called The Enigma Beyond, Who Won the AI Wars, the Artificial Intelligence Wars. What we are exploring here are some of the fascination with high-tech learning and it getting away from the creators and basically becoming something that we have to fight against. So there's a lot of noise about, put in artificial intelligence here, do a bot chat here, and run your business, and life is good, and except that that takes away those, the decision making process, and small things start to erode, and before you know it, you're mercy artificial intelligence computers.
One thing about artificial intelligence, and I'm glad that you guys are actually bringing it to the fold of the imagination of the public, is that it is literally all around us every day making decisions. Artificial intelligence knows where I am 24 hours a day. I was just on Facebook and its intelligence has mapped me every time I've had my phone on. And I'm like, this is worse than a bad girlfriend.
That's right. Stalker software at its best, man.
So how did you bring Derek into the fold for this?
Well, we hold his parents hostage, and so he's been doing all the books.
Derek is amazing, and how we all connected for him to be the voice of the series. I mean, that would need a 2-hour interview to do, but we're very, very to have a true voice actor, because as we mentioned last time, Emmett, we have over 150 some odd characters in the series.
Oh, yeah.
and our friend Derek has voices for all of them.
What? So, Derek, you're a schizophrenic reader, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, easily.
So, how was that? I'm going to go with you, Derek, for a little bit here. Sure. Developing these characters, did you say, here's how I hear this character in my head, or did you have to get feedback from B&B?
When we first started, they didn't provide like a character synopsis. So it was as I read the book in prep for the recording, I had to pick up the details based upon how they described the characters. The good thing is they were very descriptive. Like a lot of these were their first appearances, or even if they were callbacks to the first book, there was still a lot of great details that they put in. So I was able to easily kind of get an idea of what accent they should do, where's the vocal placement in the mouth, depending upon the age or the weight of the person, that kind of stuff. So, and in many cases, it was as I read them, the character just came out based upon their own way they talk. So they kind of gained their own, and then over the books, they've become more refined.
Yeah.
And kind of even got a little more, cleaner and much more distinctive as time's gone on.
I have to ask you, do you ever get the voices confused?
Because my first book with them was book 2. That one I did, especially when it came down to a lot of the female characters. I was trying to be very careful to not make the voices too similar.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden I'm like, oh my goodness, that's the wrong voice. I have to go back and undo like 30 minutes of recording. But nowadays, the characters are like so distinctive. It's like slipping on a comfortable T-shirt. Like each character has its own distinct personality at this point.
So you guys introduced some new characters. What was that transition like for you guys writing the characters? And then Derek, for you, did you use the same process to say, I can't make this character sound like so-and-so, or this character might be like so-and-so? Because one of the things when it comes to voice, you can hear someone's voice and get a picture in your head, and when you see them, they look nothing like their voice.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a perfect example of that. So I'd agree with that, Emmett. My voice makes me sound like I'm at least 5'7", 5'8", easy. Yeah.
I thought you were.
Yeah. See how that works? But no, I mean, we do kind of create the size and build and temperament for each of the characters, and then of course add their place of birth or where they're living, so that the accents can be appropriate. Because the stories are international, so they travel everywhere from Mexico. When you started with book number 2, it was Mexico, it was the Cayman Islands, it was Brazil, and so it's now it's everywhere else too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where I've been really happy about it, because it's forced me to really work on so many different nationalities and accents. I mean, I joke with people. I'm like, there's at least 30 characters per book. Some of them come back, but I'm not surprised if there's at least 10 different nationalities in the book, going everywhere from Juan and Carlos in Mexico to Quip in Switzerland, and then you bring in the Chinese nationalists into it, and then you have the one with people I think they're from Pakistan, Iran, or something like that. And it was just like all over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre, because I travel a great deal. I didn't even realize, like, in some small countries there are varying dialects. So there are people who live in the same country about the size of Indiana, but if you get the North and South together, they can't understand each other.
Yeah. England is notorious for that. I mean, you can go like 2 miles down the road, and all of a sudden you're leaving Wales and you're into Lord knows what, and the accent is so different. You're like, what? Did I leave the country? It's like, nope, you just went down the road. Sorry.
So out of these characters that you guys were developing, because I know this happens, especially if you try to introduce something to change the flavor, there's always one character that's just like, we have the basic, but we can't nail it down. So what was the toughest character that you had to deal with on both your guys' side?
Ichabod.
Really?
See, so it must be different for you, Derek.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of funny because like Ichabod's the good artificial intelligence, we'll say. And for me, it was easy because knowing the character that created him, Quip's a little bit of a narcissist. So I'm like, he would put a little bit of his own personality and self into the character. And therefore, that would come through easily in the character. And over the books, I started him off as very more robotic, but he's become more naturally spoken over time. So I found Ichabod to be easy. Honestly, the hardest one for me was actually Dr. Piccone. And I think it was like for book 6 or so. And he was a villain in the book. And when I first read it, I had a completely different sound in my head. And I had read him halfway through. And when I got to like one of the book pages in the book, in chapter 40, I think it was something like that, there's a very specific scene that happens. And the good guys are watching this 1980s VHS tape of this guy giving a talk. And the whole time I had been preparing to narrate him as monotone, unemotional, because that's the way he's kind of presented. But in this one scene, when they're showing the recording, somebody comes up and actually argues with him. He becomes agitated and he's gripping the podium. And I'm like, wait a minute, somebody who is completely unflappable, he's not going to react like that. He's not going to become visibly angry in the middle of a big conference.
Right.
And it suddenly made me go back and I had to look through all of the different things. And I realized, oh my goodness, this guy, he's narcissist, and he may not value human life, but it's not because he's disconnected from it. He values his own goals over theirs. And he's just as passionate, if not more so, than any of the other people in it. So it completely threw me 360 on that one.
This is interesting because until this moment, I never realized this, but as you were speaking, I thought about when I read books and I hear the character's voice in my head, which usually upsets me when I go see the movie because it's way off the base. Yeah. And then you're just like, how did they come to that? What was, But between this, this is adding another chapter to a book. You always say, where can we go from here? It's just like maybe a musician or painter or someone else. What was the challenge when you had to say, what was the motivation, A, and then the challenge of writing another book?
Well, so for book 11?
Yes, book 11.
Okay, all right.
So we actually got a book review the other day that really pleased us. They said, after reading this 11th book of Breakfield and Burkey, they're not the same. The books are different. They don't use the same formula, and each one's fresh. And so that's I think that's probably the best compliment the writer can get, saying it's not the same old formula. It gives you that, that reinforces the fact that, yes, we've been evolving the series. We've been evolving the characters. They've grown. It's like, watching, your own family. A little older, a little more mature, pick up some pointers, and it's that challenge that's so gratifying.
Okay, here's an off question for you. So often when you write a book, sometimes you come up across, where you want to go with it, but you don't have the intel to do it correct. Did you have to do any work? Like, did you have to go find some information because, I don't know if we have this right?
Yeah. So every book has that, because the books themselves have a foundation of technology first, and we're technologists by profession. We do go through and verify some different elements of that technology. Yeah. But we also have some underlying things, like the one that Derek was just mentioning with Dr. Piccone. He was a mad scientist, and he was trying to find the secret to living forever. I mean, the name of the book was The Enigma Always. We did a lot of research on genome and what they're trying to do to maintain personalities or modify personalities using nanotechnology. So we did a lot of research on that, on how possible it could be. And, it's possible.
So, yeah, I have to get my thoughts together sometimes.
Well, I'll camp on that thought, because on book 11, we did a lot of heavy research on EMP, electromagnetic pulse rifles, and armament to be able to use attack vectors in the against the drones and the artificial intelligence. So, it has to be scientifically correct. It's not. It's not a textbook, but it's subtext for how the story moves forward. Because it's how do you defeat the undefeatable?
And here was the question that was forming in my head. This is the Enigma Beyond, which is book 11. So where's book 12 going? Because you're going to go beyond.
It's going to go into combat, the Enigma combat.
Okay. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, all right, like Star Trek Beyond, what are we going to do? All right, the next generation after Beyond, or the other side of Beyond. It's just one of those questions that I have to think about, because, when you have fans, they almost think ahead of you sometimes, or what their expectations are. And they see little things like this, like, is this what's going on? What are we going to do? But I just had to ask the question. That's how I am.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
So it's funny that you would say the next generation, because part of what we did with the Enigma Beyond was we actually brought the youngsters of the R group, which is the hero group, to start becoming a part of the family operation.
Awesome. Now, Derek.
Yep.
You won an award.
Yeah.
Are you the golden voice?
No, I would love to say absolutely, but that's a little bit too egotistical even for me. It was surprising, honestly. I wasn't expecting it, and when it came through, I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." And then it suddenly clicked, like about a day later. I'm like, "Oh, wow, okay." But really, I think for me, it's making sure that the performance is to that level every single time. And if somebody, a reviewer or a judge or something, when it's submitted, it clicks with them, then awesome, But I just try to make sure that I'm not doing the performances for an award, because then it colors your acting choices. It colors the character you're creating, and you may end up going too far in one direction when subtlety might have been the best choice. So, I don't think I'm the golden voice, because my voice is not perfect for every single job at all.
Right.
Kids will probably be freaked out if I try to do a preschool audiobook. Not that I couldn't do it, but.
So, what's your octave range?
Well, when I used to sing, it was double bass up to mid tenor, so it was like low tenor. That was pushing it, but my tessitura was more in bass to baritone. Gotcha.
What was the name of the magazine? I'm sorry.
Oh, Indie Tale magazine.
What is it again?
Indie Tale. So ND apostrophe Tale, TALE.
IND apostrophe TALE magazine. All right. So I think we got a little bit to it, but we didn't get into it, which is, what's the next project for the Double B crew? And that's Breakfield and Burkey.
We're taking the Enigma Beyond fight to the next level. It's got some excellent twists and turns, and it's forming up nicely. It has the R group on the run. So it's you can't always be on top of the game, but you fight while you're retreating. I put it to you like that. So the tech there, the new characters that are coming online, And it's it's an area that I think will be because it's like, well, what happens with the good guys are not winning? How do you recover from that kind of a scenario? So again, trying to stretch our storyline, to make it as engaging as possible for the character universe we've got.
Gotcha. And will we have this as an audiobook as well?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You will, right?
Yeah, I will if you send it to me.
No problem there. We will. We're also putting a call out for 3 new characters. We actually did this with the last book where we invited fans and readers and writers and whoever follows us to see if they want to be a character in our book. We're looking for 3 specific characters. We're looking for two women that are high-tech women. This is International Women's Day, so we got to stick with the theme here. And they're a little bit, they have an edge to them, but they're really smart. They're good in technology. And then we're looking for a guy who is who's going to sweep one of the existing characters off her feet.
I have a character.
You can apply for it, Emmett. You can apply.
Yeah, I have the perfect character for you. It's this urban kid who is extremely smart.
Yeah.
And is like working on interdimensional transition.
There you go.
Nice.
I like that.
One of the things we like about people that we bring on to the cast, the reward that they get for allowing us to use their name, of course, is they'll get a copy of the book because we love them. And we'll also tweet about them and they, or Facebook and anything to help, make sure that their friends all know that they are a part of this book. And it went over really well the last time, and we're hoping it will do the same this time.
All right. So I'm going to ask you for this. First, I got to pause. We're going to pause for about 10 seconds. So, Derek, you're good, but the male voice over here is too low, so your microphone is not picking up; it's dropping off. So you're gonna have to up. Derek, you're fine. Your voice is fine.
Okay.
I'm talking on the other side, or there's something happening where I'm losing audio, because your voice is so low. You know what I'm talking about?
From us? Or
Yes, from you. Your voice is fine. I'm losing his voice because it's in the lower register, and the microphone is auto adjusting. I can hear it.
Oh.
So his voice is like this when
I'll try and speak a little louder.
Yes. So I need you to come up about 3 decibels.
Okay.
Yeah, I never have a problem. I have a big mouth naturally. I get that.
I'm not going to even comment on that.
That's because you are a wise man.
That's right. I've been married a couple times. Anyway, 3, 2, 1. With this offering, in the past and in the now, are there bundles? So can you get, because Amazon has like WhisperSync and all these other things. So are you guys offering them as like a bundle package with the audiobook and the written word, or how is that set up? Or do you have any other scenarios for that?
So Amazon does have that as a package deal. However, we have a very special package deal.
Yeah. So you're going to our website, enigmabookseries.com, you can get all 11 books and shipped for $18 a piece in continental United States, no shipping charges.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Signed and personalized, so it could be to Emmett. May your Enigma days be wonderful.
Wow. Signed and no shipping. I mean, this is a person who shipped books, and I know what that entails. So
yeah,
that's a good one. That's a real good one. All right, Derek, I'm going to ask you. I have to divert a little bit, and I know this is a little off topic, but what else are you known for besides the beautiful Enigma series?
Well, for the longest time, the Enigma was pretty much it. But this year I started doing work for Tantor Publishing. They've actually had me doing a lot of lit RPGs titles. So I've started doing the Underdog series, books 1 and 2 in that one. I just did Drafted Proxy War, which is a cool sci-fi version of a lit RPG. And one I really was happy to do was the Light Online series. So I started book 1 on that, which is Farmer. And the cool thing about that one is it's not combat focused. It's this guy trying to make money in the game. So he starts up a business and ends up discovering game mechanics that he didn't realize was there.
Oh.
So it's a really cool twist on it. And the other one, actually, I did an anger management for dummies book last year. So I joined the dummies club of voice actors there. We kind of joke around in the forums on Facebook about it. Like, hey, you're welcome to the club kind of thing.
Awesome.
He has a wall, Emmett, and your wall is amazing. Where can people see your wall? Because that's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
I put the photos on Facebook and stuff, so you can probably see it on my business page there. But I should put it on my website actually.
So where is your page, by the way?
My Facebook page is Derek Scholl's Voice. So if you find that, that's on Facebook. My website itself is DerekSchollsVoice.com. So that has my samples. It has a bit of my history, but there's a whole separate page on all the titles that I've actually done, and I've made samples of each one of them. So you can listen to excerpts from everything that I've narrated so far.
Awesome. All right, what's the plan for
all of his samples on our website, along with all the book trailers are on our website as well.
So are you guys going to be doing some more things related to YouTube and some other mediums, or just go to the website?
So we have a YouTube channel, the Enigma series. Have several things out there, from book trailers and samples of Derek, and some of our interviews that we have done are out there. So we'd love to have people follow us there. And then, of course, the website holds probably the most value because we got free stuff they can sign up for.
Cool.
Free.
Yeah. So one of the videos that we put together was an early vignette of the Enigma series, and I got into costume. I was we actually got the translation, and it's all in German.
Oh.
And subtitle underneath of it to be able, the rest of the planet can understand what I'm talking about. It's the, I'm calling out to my compatriots. Come here. I found the secret, and we have a replica of the Enigma machine. We actually are pretending to be able to punch buttons on it and do the translation. And we're talking, it's like, 60, 70 seconds, something like that, from a time standpoint, but it's, a lot of fun, and it's on the website. It's also off of YouTube too.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Here's my last question before we go. Have you guys been represented at any Comic-Con?
Oh my goodness.
That's a good question.
I see their pictures all the time at a bunch of Comic-Cons, so they definitely are working that circuit.
We were just at North Texas Comic Book Convention 2 weeks ago in Irving, Texas. So yes, we do have fun with those.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the Billionaire Lifestyle Podcast, and keep doing what you're doing.
Great.
Thanks, Emmett.
Thank you, Emmett.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining.
Thanks, Dirk.
Thank you. Sorry, I was late.
You too.
Yeah, for being quiet while you're, not hitting in the back of the head. You're not,
Hold on, let me finish. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how we end. Woo! Get some cold cuts. Today is the day that you are set forth to begin the rest of your journey. Look, I've been on this thing that we're not doing, which is we have to do one thing first. We have to mind our own business. Then we can venture out and delve into others. You can find inspiration from other people, but let them be. The Beatles said, let it be, and I'm saying, let them be. Live your life. There is one thing that I always tell young people when I am training them, and it is this. I ask them a question. I ask them if they've ever ran track, and quite often they say yes. And I say, what's one of the principal items that you have to observe when you're running track? And they're like, come in first. I'm like, nope. They're like, don't know. I'm like, stay in your lane. If you don't stay in your lane, you get disqualified from the race. So ladies and gentlemen, try this. It's really simple. It might be a little boring, but just stay in your lane a little bit more often, and you will find that your life will be a lot simpler. I know I sound like I'm preaching, but I'm telling you what I live by. I live to help others from where I am. Remember, we are a tribe. We are all fractal. We are all part of the ecosystem that makes this planet a billionaire, because we are billions on this planet. And then when you get down, everything is fractal. We are in the omniverse. So just like the cells comprise the self, you comprise our universe. Our thoughts and our prayers contribute to all the good and even the bad that we experience. It all comes down to love. And if you can't love yourself first, just take a minute, go stop in the mirror, look in those eyes that look like nebulae in the sky, and remember, that's where love starts. Till next time, love you all.